Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, I have the little Autel Evo Nano Plus with me today. There were a bunch of firmware updates for this guy. I was doing the firmware update on Sunday the 23rd for the Mavic 3. I checked this guy out. There were some new firmware updates. I went through that painful process of updating the drone and all the batteries. It takes 15 minutes each time, so you better set aside at least an hour to do a firmware update with this drone. But anyway, we did that, and so I want to get it out here and fly it today. Fortunately, really calm winds here. This drone is not a good drone in the wind. There's been a number of reviewers that have had some issues and nearly lost their drone because this guy got out in the wind and just didn't have enough power to get back. And so that would make me a little reticent to fly it over the edge of the canyon here, but really calm winds today, although it's a very cold day. It's right at the limits of what this is cold-wise. Now, originally, they said that this thing would be good down to 14 degrees Fahrenheit. And they've since updated that. They said that was a misprint. And now they're saying 32 degrees. And we're right at about that right now. So it's right at about freezing. So we're at the low limit of what they say this drone should be flown at. But we are at that limit, so we're going to fly it. And then, again, the other thing that I should say that they updated, they changed in the manual. Initially, they said the top speed on this thing in sport mode was 15 meters per second. Now they've reduced that to 13 meters per second. Personally, the fastest I've had the drone up to is 12 meters per second. So again, it's just something you're going to want to be careful with in the wind with this guy. But what am I interested in with this drone today? Well, primarily video quality. The reason that you buy a GPS camera drone is because you want good, high-quality video. This thing has got, it's got all the chops for that. It's got that 0.8 of an inch sensor on there, and it's got that RYYB sensor that lets in more light, bigger aperture, etc. So I have seen glimpses of brilliance with this drone. I think it has potential to be just an amazing camera platform for a sub 250 gram drone. Now, the issues that I've seen in the past have been shakes in the video, and I've seen it on almost everybody that publishes a video with this drone. I've seen it to one degree or another, and the last time I flew it, it was almost gone. It was still there, though I could see it subtly just a little bit. So we're going to take it out over the canyon today, and we're going to take a look at it, and hopefully we'll get just some really beautiful video with this guy. And yeah, let's quit messing around. Let's get this bird in the air. Okay, I've got everything fired up here. In this drone, it's important you start the drone first and then the controller, and when you shut it down, you do just the opposite. I think an easy way to remember it is the controller is, with the hardware, is the last thing you do. When you shut it down, you shut down the drone, then the controller. And then let's get the app open here and see what we can see. And yeah, it's giving us safe to fly. Yeah, looking good. Let's go ahead and take a look at the menu here. And it's not asking for a calibration or anything, so so I think we're good to go there. Return to home is okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at the menu. 4K 30, did they update any of that? No, I don't see that. So looks like we're still just at 30 frames per second in the video. That was one of the things that they don't really give you any notes for the firmware update, so I don't really know what it updated. But let's start video now, and let's get going on this flight. You know what? I'm going to shut that video off, and I'll tell you why. What I forgot about on this drone is that yeah, and it's got a gimbal self-check again, so doesn't want us to take off yet, so let's wait here. Now it says safe to fly. Okay, we're not going to mess around. Let's go ahead and do an auto takeoff. And it's kind of interesting the way it's given us the home point has been refreshed. So let's go ahead and start recording now. And there we are. We're recording. And yeah, let's go up a little ways and give it a good look at its landing pad. I don't know if we'll get a precision landing, but we'll try it when we come back. Let's turn it around and let's bring it into us here a little bit. And let's see how if that obstacle avoidance is working. And yeah, no, you know what? I can fly it right into myself, folks. So be careful with the obstacle avoidance on this drone. That's what I'm going to tell you. It wasn't stopping at all. Well, now we're getting a little bit of something there. Look at that, aircraft nose. Yeah, now it won't fly forward now. So kind of inconsistent there, but let's do our droney. Let's drop that the camera down here, and let's go reverse and up now. Reverse and up. And I kind of I did a very not a very good job there, but my fingers are cold, folks. I'm going to try and get it aimed out over the canyon here. Grab some altitude. Yeah, we're gonna have to get serious here. I'm turning it out over the canyon, and we are in full reverse in normal mode. I know the edge of that canyon is here someplace. There it is. Look at that. And that's me dropping the camera down there. We'll pick it back up. Oh, I should have. I don't have grid lines on my on the drone here. But there we go. Let's turn it around here and let's look downriver a little bit. And boy, I took my gloves off and I'm kind of regretting it. My fingers are definitely cold. 89% battery. We know this cold weather is going to affect battery life too, so we're not going to get too carried away here. Let's drop the camera down and take a look at this little spot of rapids here. That's kind of a cool spot. I one time with I believe it was the Mini 2, I flew right over the top of that. I was down in the canyon and flew those rapids. I have to tell you, what I'm seeing on the FPV screen here looks really good. So if what comes off the memory card is as good as what I'm seeing here, I'm going to be a happy guy. And I'm going to turn around here, not get too carried away. And again, we are just in what they call standard mode. And we can look at our top speed here and see what it says. Yeah, I mean, we're doing pretty good. We're at about 8.5 meters per second, so right about 8 meters per second. Let's go ahead and let's go into sport mode here and see what we can do. And of course, that turns off obstacle avoidance. Full stick forward again, and I bet it'll take us right up to 12 meters per second. That's going to be my prediction. Well, not even that, 10 meters per second. So, you know, you almost just might as well stay in standard mode. Boy, I'll tell you what, I should have kept my gloves on because my fingers are getting cold. So we'll get up here a ways, and you know, I kind of did this with the Mavic 3. Is I zoomed in on the dam down there. So I'm going to pick up the gimbal just a tad. In fact, let's center that right in the middle of the screen here. We're going to stop right here, and let's zoom in. So touching the screen here to get the zoom, and there is 2x zoom right there. And that's me yawing around to center the dam in the picture here. And I got to tell you, that looks really good on FPV. Well, we'll see how it looks on the SD card. And there's 4x zoom. And yeah, I mean, I can see that it's not as crisp, but it's just cropping in on that sensor. So I still think that's awesome. That is amazing. So let's go back to and by the way, this will go up to single zoom. I guess if you hold it, you can go higher. Yeah, there we go. So I have never done this before, folks. So this is 16 by zoom. Well, now it's saying 13 by 8 on my screen. I have never done that before, and that's very pixelated, which is completely understandable with this little sensor. Let's go back to 2x. There's 2x, and that looks way better. And back to 1x zoom. So I'd never tried, maybe. I'm touching the screen trying to get back to single zoom. Anyway, there we got it. I'm going to lower the camera again and back over. And we are already at 74% battery. Like I said, this cold weather is going to affect our flight time. So let's bring this guy back to us slowly but surely here, and see how how it's affected by you know, the little bit of a wind we have today. I can feel a little breeze, and I'll tell you what, a little breeze is plenty in this kind of cold. And again, you know, we're right at the very limits of what they say this drone is on the low end of the temperature scale of what you're supposed to fly it at, right at freezing. So I am hitting, and you could see on the attitude indicator there as I push the stick to the side. And there we got a false reading, and it's not looking into the sun on the obstacle avoidance. And that's in sport mode with obstacle avoidance off, so not sure what that's about, but anyway, I just think this is a great look. And let's just bring this guy over the top of us here in sport mode, and it's picking up speed now. Let's see how fast we get up to coming back to us. We're at 11. Yeah, there's 12 meters per second. Again, that's about the fastest I've seen this drone go. Originally, they said that it would go 15 meters per second. They revised that to 13, and you know, I've never even got that out of it. So we're kind of not exactly over the top of us, but over the top of the area that we're at here. And pick that camera up again, up the trail. And I'll tell you, you know, when you're looking at the drone, yeah, it's 12 meters per second, but it sure looks fast as that drone is flying over the top of us. And we'll kind of ease it on around here. I have to tell you, FPV looks really good on this guy. Okay, I got to tell you guys, and you can see all the snow down there. I am definitely cold standing here getting this done. So let's bring it back to us, and maybe we can try some of the quick shots out with this guy while we're here, because on the edge of the canyon, those always look good. I wish that that Autel would give us notes with the firmware updates. It tells you have an update, but it doesn't tell you what the update does. So, and I don't know, and you can see let me bring it down just a little bit and bring it in. And I'm going to go back into normal mode. Maybe. There's smooth. There's standard. And I don't know how close I'm going to have it to me here to get it to do some of those quick shots, but we're going to find out. Okay, let's stop recording. And let's go into, not hyperlapse, oh no, not pano. Let's see. Although I've never done a pano with this guy. Wow. My fingers on this screen are not doing real well. Okay, so look, it even has me spotted there. So let's do a flick. And it's got a plus sign on me. And it's got me. No, it did have me. Let's do that again. Let's draw a little square. Let's give it a better chance. Yeah, okay, let's click go. And the flick is where it just kind of stays on you and then moves around. That's actually a pretty cool shot, honestly. And then backs up. And everything looks better when you're next to the canyon here. So it's going to go back to its starting point. And it's not messing around when it's moving back, so. Well, it's kind of, man, I see it pitching around up there. You know, it almost felt like it was like in the wind or something. I was watching the drone pitch around. I don't know what it was doing. I mean, there was no wind. Okay, let's do, we've done, if we do a fade away, let's do it out over the canyon, right? So I'm turning it around to where it's facing the canyon. What was that beep? I don't know, that might have been something that I did. I'm gonna move it around just a little more. Okay, so quick shots. We're going to do a fade away. And I'm going to try and spot myself again. There, whoop, it almost had me. That takes a lot of computing power to do that. It's got me now, so let's click go. And it's counting down, and it should back out over the canyon here. And boy, I'll tell you what, I can hear the motors on that thing it's weird. You know, I'm hearing them kind of stutter a little bit, although I'm not getting any warnings on the screen, so I'm going to say we're good. Yeah, I mean that worked out just fine. Okay, I am going to stop right there. So I clicked stop, and I'm going to go into a pano, and I want to go out over the canyon here a little bit. Pick up that gimbal. Even a little more. Boy, I'll tell you what, I don't know if it's my fingers or the controls, but yeah. Okay, let's move over the canyon a little bit. We're at 43% battery, so I don't want to mess around. I am not going to mess around with this guy too much and take any chances here. So let's click on pano again, and we are going to let's do a wide angle and click start. And it's thinking about taking pictures. Oh, there it goes. And it's going to take 9 pictures. It's telling me 2 of 9. 3 of 9, and I can see the drone out there. It's holding its position well. You know, you just think about all the features in this little drone. You know, this is a little 250 gram drone, and it is full of a ton of features. They packed a lot into this guy. There's 8. And 9. And what I'm not familiar with on this drone is, does it actually stitch them together? Yeah, stitch successfully, it said. So let's try landscape now. And we're at 37%. So yeah, we're going to want to bring this guy back probably after this. Oh, and this is 12 pictures. So yeah, this is actually going to take a few minutes. So hopefully this won't mess around too long. We'll definitely bring it back after this set of pictures. Yeah, it's gonna want to come home because we're already down to 35% battery. And I'm sure it builds some safety factor into there. Okay, we're halfway through. Well, this should make a great looking picture though. I mean, I'm kind of anxious to see how this looks. And what we're going to do is, when we're done with this panel, we'll just do a return to home. Eleven of 12. Now 12 of 12. And it's stitched successfully. Okay, so let's go back into video and let's start video again. And let's do a return to home. Return to home landing. So I'm looking at the drone. There it goes. Yeah, and it's coming back to us here. Let me see if I can drop that gimbal down as it comes back. Boy, you can see how icy and cold it is here, man. Yeah, I get that every time, so I don't know what that's about. Okay, let's go ahead and I get that unsafe environment every time. Let's cancel, because it was a little bit off. I'm going to pick that camera back up. Cancel that. Yeah, it wants to land here. Sorry guys, let's pick that camera up here. And I'm going to move up here so I can see what I'm doing. I think that's pretty close. And you know what? Before it does that, I want to look at one more thing here. I'm going to stop recording for a second while we still have it in the air. Yeah, I don't see anything for tracking on here. Anyway, okay, let's go ahead and start video again, and let's drop this baby down. Bring it in for a landing. And I can see I was off the pad significantly. I tell you, nothing like old eyes. You know what I need? I need about a 10-foot around landing pad, then I could hit it. I was trying to do the double tap, not the single tap. Say, okay, the drone is off. Then second, you're going to want to do the controller. So do the controller after you shut off the drone. Let me get everything shut down and we'll do a quick conclusion. Hey, okay, the Autel Evo Nano Plus. Hey, this was a good flight, and I finally got it out over the canyon, which has been something I've wanted to do since I got this drone. So we came out today on a cold day. You know what? The drone performed great. Do I wish it flew a little bit faster in sport mode? Yes. But you know what? It did fine. We got up and down the canyon without issue. And it got up to that 12 meters per second that I've seen in the past. So, you know, again, I am a little concerned about what it would do in the wind, but it did okay today. So I'm going to say that. With regard to all the rest of the performance, it was perfect. It grabbed satellites real quick. It did everything just fine. It was real steady. We did a bunch of stuff with it there. We got to try out the zoom, looking at the dam down there. We even did a couple of quick shots. We did a couple of panoramas, all on one battery, so no complaints there. Again, in really cold weather, right at about freezing. So I'm really anxious to see. The big tell is going to be when I pull that SD card out of there and what that video looks like, right? That is the big thing. That's why you buy a GPS camera drone, is you want to get good photography and good video. So I'll be anxious to see how that looks. You know, as far as, you know, just what I saw right here, it passed all the tests and did just fine. So I guess that's about it. I'm freezing my tail off. I want to get back in my warm truck. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. And yeah, thank you again for taking the time to look at this video. And of course, we'll see you on the next one. The Autel Evo Nano Plus. I've got that name down now. All right, we'll see you guys later. Bye.